Did you know that there's a ski resort hidden in the Smoky Mountains? Ober Mountain is a unique ski resort located in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and is the only ski resort in the entire state. Today, I'm doing an in-depth mountain review of this ski resort, going over 5 important categories of any good ski or snowboarding mountain, and rating them from 0 to 20. And at the end of the video, I'll add up all the scores to give this ski resort a total grade out of 100, which helps you compare this mountain to the numerous others I've reviewed on my channel already, and more importantly, helps you decide if visiting Ober Mountain Ski Resort in Tennessee is worth your time and money. Let's start off this review with looking at the terrain offered here. Surprisingly, Ober Mountain has a decent amount of terrain to ride for being this far south. This ski resort is nestled away in the Smoky Mountains, and the skiable summit sits at about 3,200 feet, allowing for optimal snowmaking conditions and even frequent natural snowfall as well. Throughout the ski and snowboarding season, there's about 7 snowfall days and 17 inches on average of snowfall, which isn't comparable to bigger skier mountains up north, but for Tennessee, even just having 2 inches of powder on any day can make the whole mountain experience that much better. Not to mention that Ober also has 100% snowmaking capabilities. So even without snow days, all the trails here should be open and ready to ride. Speaking of trails being open, the typical ski season here starts in mid-December and goes through late March. And Ober has their projected opening day for this season set at November 22nd, pointing towards the possibility for an extended season. And I know that's only a projection, but just last year they stayed open for skiing and snowboarding for 127 days, which is really good. There's a total of 10 runs at Ober Mountain, with its terrain divided up as having 22% green, 56% blue, and 22% advanced slopes, including 1 terrain park trail. This resort has a vertical drop of 600 feet and a longest run of about 1 mile. So its mountain statistics aren't anything crazy, but are comparable to other ski resorts nearby like Winter Place in West Virginia. And considering this mountain is in Tennessee, even though it's smaller than other ski resorts in the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic, it still has its own unique character. One of its better terrain aspects is its steep and mogully black diamond slopes to play on. So although I really enjoyed the fun, flowy terrain at Ober, it only gets a 13 out of 20 because of its smaller skiable footprint and limited trail options. Next, let's take a look at the layout of Ober Mountain Ski Resort. There's a total of 5 lifts across its slopes, including 2 quads, 1 double, 1 surface lift, and 1 aerial tram that brings skiers and snowboarders and visitors in general up from the city of Gatlinburg directly to the ski resort lodge. Now, although there's technically 4 lifts at this resort, it really only feels like 2, because only 1 quad goes up to the summit, called the Ober Challenge Lift, and this resort peak only has blue and black diamond runs to choose from until you get closer back down to the base. So if you're a beginner, plan to take the other quad called Ober Easy Lift. This lift only goes about 1/3 of the way up the mountain, and it provides direct access to green and blue slopes. The double chair that goes up to the Sky Village doesn't have any skiing or snowboarding trails to get back down, so it's more of a viewing or visiting area. And the aerial tramway is an awesome part of this mountain because it makes reaching the resort easier than ever. You can drive from Gatlinburg up to the ski resort in about 12 minutes, but the roads are steep and windy with very small parking area at the top. So depending on the weather, it might not be in your best interest to try to drive up there. But the tram solves a lot of those problems by allowing you to ride up to the resort. Now the tram can get crowded at times, so allow extra time for that. But if you don't have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, this might be your better bet. So although the mountain layout can seem a little repetitive with only 1 lift going to the summit, there's still different routes to take to get back down to keep things interesting. And the addition of the aerial tram helps a lot with the logistics of getting to the mountain, and it's also pretty cool. The overall layout of Ober Mountain gets a 12 out of 20. Now let's look at the lodging around the ski resort if you want to come visit. Although there are some rental houses along the mountain roads leading up to the resort, Ober itself doesn't have any slopeside options. The lodge is kind of like a mall at the base of the ski slopes. With several different places to buy food, shop, and even go ice skating, they also have tubing and a playground to entertain the whole family if you need a break from the slopes, or are traveling with others who don't ski or snowboard. And although this big lodge aspect is unique, it does limit the amount of slopeside lodging. Luckily, Gatlinburg has tons of rental options and hotels to choose from. And although I don't consider them slopeside, you can still walk to the tram and access the slopes at Ober without ever having to drive anywhere. And I don't know about you, but if I can walk to the slopes by using the tram, that's a win for me. Lodging at Ober gets an 18 out of 20 because of its numerous options in the city of Gatlinburg with easy tram access to the mountain. And now let's look at how much it'll cost you and your family to come ride here. Not surprisingly, Gatlinburg can be on the more expensive side because of its tourist nature. However, you'll find that Ober Mountain maintains decent lift ticket prices for a smaller ski resort in the Southeast region. First, I want to point out that Ober Mountain is on the Indy Pass, so if you have one of those, that means you can come ride this mountain for free for 2 days, and get a third discounted day as well. Just head over to the guest services at the lodge and show them your pass. If you're looking to buy a lift ticket without a pass, adult day tickets cost about $49 or $39 for a night ticket from 4 to 8 p.m. Lift tickets get cheaper for kids as well. I'll list that on the screen here. I've always held the opinion that if you can ski or snowboard for less than $50 a day, that's a pretty good deal in today's world. But something to keep in mind is if you plan to use the aerial tram, that is an additional cost of $29 round trip. So adding that expense to your lift ticket looks more like $78. Still not horrible, but not as good as the $49 when you first look at the website. But you still can get that $49 price, you just gotta drive yourself to the base of the lodge instead of using the tram. For this reason, the overall score for cost gets a 14 out of 20. Finally, what makes this ski resort unique? Well, there's actually quite a few unique aspects. Starting off with Ober Mountain Ski Resort being the only ski resort in the entire state of Tennessee. With only a few options in the Southeast for skiing and snowboarding, Ober Mountain can act as a great resource for riders even several hours away to learn, practice, or prepare for trips to bigger mountains in the future. This ski resort is also great for beginners to learn on. Although there's not any green slopes at the summit, the shorter runs and the lower vertical drop allows Ober to be less intimidating for those still learning. And another unique aspect is all the things there are to do nearby. So if you're the only skier and snowboarder in your family or group, Gatlinburg can still be a great destination for everyone. You can go off and ride while they enjoy walking down the main strip in the city with tons of things to choose from. With all these unique qualities, this mountain scores a 19 out of 20 for its uniqueness. Alright, so after adding up all the scores, Ober Mountain Ski Resort scores a 76 out of 100 overall, which is a great number for being in Tennessee. So what do you think of my review? Do you think I scored Ober too high? Or maybe too low? Did I miss something awesome about this resort? Let me know in the comments. But if you're looking for more ski resorts to discover in the Southeast, then you'll want to watch this next ski resort review of a mountain that newly opened last season.